Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing my Himi Miya Gouache 24-piece 30ml set of gouache. I was really excited about filming this for you guys and unboxing it myself. It seems so exciting, so here it is. Inside of it you can see that there is a plastic pallet that's white, which is super nice, and then you can also see that they all are individually wrapped. This is what the cube looks like, and you can see I happen to pick up the dark purple, but it's relatively thick plastic and it has 30ml written on the peel off tab on the top. And then you can see how there's that empty sort of groove in the container, and you could put paintbrushes or even a pencil in there to go with you. And then you could use the lid also as a palette and then use the palette also, but I ended up not using either of those. I just used a ceramic palette, like a ceramic plate for mine, because I guess I didn't want to get my palette stained, but you could of course do that. And then on the back you can see there's a sort of color chart of the gouache colors that are in this set. You can see how beautiful they are now that they're out, and I just flipped them upside down when they're still sealed, and you can see how wonderfully thick this plastic container is. So even if you don't love the gouache, you can of course store other things in there. So now at this point I'm just going to be spending a little bit of time trying to determine what arrangement I want my gouache in. And I'm really happy with the end arrangement I did, which had more of the neutral black, brown, beige, and different colors like that all on the bottom, and then the bright colors on the top in different arrangements. I'm sorry about the bright lights, the light change, and then the orange, but I was by a natural lighting window and obviously time went by. But now at this point I'm just going to unpeel all of them, and I am going to keep all those little lids or whatever you want to call the peel off things on them, because I'm going to create my own palette using them, because there's plenty of gouache on those. And gouache is a re-wettable paint, so you can just re-wet it with a damp brush and you can use all that paint on there. You don't have to waste those. So I will be putting those into and kind of creating my own palette in an upcoming video. You can see how I made that, so definitely save yours also if you don't want to waste any paint. So now at this point I'm putting them all back into the container, and you can see how beautiful they look, and this is the arrangement that I ended up doing. And there are all the little lids that I'm keeping, and I'm really happy with what I did with those. So definitely, if you want to, you could of course throw those away, but I'm very happy with what I did with it. So for the Amazon seller that I purchased my gouache through, they came with this brush set, and I was so pleased because these are golden Taklon like brushes, and I was really happy about this because these worked wonderfully and made my gouache perform very well. It gave a nice smooth appearance when I was using them on paper. It didn't leave like strange streaks, so I was very happy with these brushes. So far I have only used, I think, three of these brushes, but those three work wonderfully and I really like them. So here what I'm doing is I'm just swatching out the colors. This is just on regular sort of thicker paper, but it's not like watercolor paper or anything. And I'm just swatching it out. I had made lines with a permanent marker to paint over to see how transparent these paints were. And I would say pretty much for a majority of the colors, the full consistency of gouache, when the gouache was completely thick, it pretty much covered that line, except for like two of the colors showed that line very faintly, but then when you water it down it does show that line quite well. But you know, that's really nice because you can see how you can use the thick ways of gouache for a certain purpose, and then the watered down for a different area on your painting. So I was really pleased when I was making this swatch, seeing all the pretty colors. So at this point, I'm nearing the end of swatching the colors, and I really like the pink, the bright pink. I thought that one was so pretty. But at this point, I'm going to be swatching out the brown and the black and I think white. And I wanted to kind of quickly mention that I made a few mistakes when using the black paint because it's so highly pigmented that I tried using it for I think 2 different paintings backgrounds, and it was so dark that it was so dark that obviously that's just maybe not my style. It might work for someone, but it did not turn out well. So I ended up not really liking those paintings I did with the black gouache in the background. So this is actually the second painting I did using the gouache, because the first one I made the mistake of using the black for a background, but I have learned. So now I'm doing, I'm just going to have a pink background behind this painting. These are of macarons. It's a stack of 4 and then 1 macaroon is resting beside it. And I guess what I would say also is if you wanted to do a background, you could water down gouache and put that down first. I didn't do that. I can't really remember, but I'm thinking as I was doing this, I wasn't really thinking I was going to put in a background, but then once it came to the end of the painting, I decided I wanted one in there. So it kind of had, I think, more of a streaky look because I had to kind of work around all the objects. So if you wanted a background, I would definitely recommend putting that in first and then using your paint to put the end front image on. But basically watered down background and then thicker paint for the actual macaroons. But I really enjoyed using this paint, and I think it's super nice, and I've used it on several other paintings at this point, and I've made several paintings, and I really enjoy using this paint. So there will be more videos of different gouache paintings. So thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.